Another package. Let's go open it up. What is this? Hey everyone, so today, like I said, I have another package, so let's get to it. I am not sure what this is, so... Wow. Ah! Metalhead. Sega 32X Metalhead. Now this one is in pretty good shape. The box is, but pretty good for a cardboard box. Horrible shipping. Not good. So here is the instruction manual booklet. This looks really good. That's good. There are some other inserts. Winner's instruction manual. Get Sega Vision 6 months free and learn to win. I never got this. So, very cool. And then of course we have the cartridge itself. And this is in good shape. I have to admit, really good shape. The sticker looks pretty good. The pins look pretty decent. So I don't think I'm gonna have to clean this at all. You know, I said the box wasn't that great earlier. It's actually pretty good. There is a little scuffing on the front, but that doesn't bother me that much. So for this game, it actually only cost me, I shouldn't say only, but it is complete in box. I paid $19.99 for this. So it was, like I said, complete in box. I was not an owner of this game back when the 32X was out on the market, so I've never played it, so I'm really excited to see what it looks like. I'm not hearing the greatest things about it, but we'll see. So let's go pop it in. All right, here we go. This is Metalhead, and believe me, when you see this, you will know that it has lived up to all the hype that it deserves. And when I mean hype, I mean it'll let you down. It'll let you down a little bit. However, if you've watched any of the Metalhead videos online or reviews, it's really not as bad as people say it is. In fact, I was kind of surprised by it.
To maintain public order, a powered bipedal armed robot, or Metalhead, was created.
So there is a very long beginning to this. And remember, this is cartridge based, so, you know, no live video. And you can also tell that the voices are a little digitized. I mean, it's not the greatest.
Metalhead quickly proved its efficiency, which caused the over-militarization of the countries of the Federation.
But I do kind of like the music. When you get into the game, you hear the music. It's actually not too bad.
Your first mission. Destroy all enemy mechs in the city.
So let's talk a little bit about the game. It actually came out in February of 1995. It is a first-person shooter. I believe there was something when it first came out. I believe the box actually said, or something said, it was a 1 or 2 player game. This is, in fact, just a 1-player game. And my box clearly says it's a 1-player game, so maybe it was a later copy of the game that I have. Now, what I do really like about this game is that it was designed for Sega's 6-button controllers, specifically for the 6-button controller, and I will tell you that the gameplay is actually very, very good on this. It's easy, it's quick to understand where the buttons are, and they make sense, which is really the biggest thing. The buttons make sense. So as you can see by the graphics, it's textured bit mapping. It's actually pretty good considering. A lot of the 32X games didn't really take advantage of what the 32X system could do. This one at least tried. And I believe it was one of only 3 games on the 32X that actually utilized that 3D textured polygon graphics to its advantage. So for the time, this actually doesn't look all that bad. Now you start off with this chain gun, which is kind of cool. You also get this grenade launcher, which is also kind of cool. You do have a speed button, or a thrust button, if you will, that you can go faster. I use that mainly when I get a little discouraged or I get a little impatient, but it is quite useful. You should actually probably use it quite a bit. But it is smooth. I do like the graphics, actually. It has like a 3D shot of your metal head as you look left, and then you push the other button, it'll look right. So that was kind of cool. And as you can probably imagine by looking at this, it didn't receive really good reviews. In fact, they got, at best, mediocre reviews. But I wouldn't be that hard on it, to be honest with you. And I think that's easy to say when in hindsight, because I believe the reason a lot of these games weren't reviewed very well was because the 32X was hyped as this next-gen console or this next-gen add-on, and it just never lived up to the billing. And had it been given another year or two, it probably would have had some really well-received games, but it was just so short-lived, and nobody really got to maximize what the 32X could do on any of the games. So I think it was just a matter of they were disappointed that it wasn't better, or they thought it should be better. But I do like the story. If I had to rate the story, I would probably give it, you know, like a 7 out of 10. The graphics, I would say for the time and what it did, and being one of the early games, I would say it's actually pretty good. I would also give it maybe a 7 out of 10. The sound isn't fantastic, especially if you had the CD, the Sega CD at the time. When you had your 32X, you know, you look at those games audio-wise, and then you put in a 32X, and it's just, it kind of lets you down. And it is jarbled a little bit, but I actually kind of like the music a little bit, so I wouldn't be too rough on it, maybe like a 6 out of 10. The controls, I would say, are awesome. I'd give it actually a 9 out of 10. I really like the controls on this, especially if you have the 6-button controller. I would not use the 3-button controller on this. You can, but it is more difficult. And I tried it for a little bit, and it just was, don't do it. Just don't do it. Gameplay, I don't know if this is something I would repeatedly play all the time, but as far as the gameplay goes, the overall feel of it, it's not that bad. It really isn't as bad as you would think and what you've heard. I would actually give it maybe like a 7 out of 10. Yeah, like a 7 out of 10. Replayability, I would say, is really low. I maybe like a 5 out of 10. Because it really is the same thing you're doing over and over. It may be a different map, but essentially you're just going around killing other mechs. And I would say overall, I would give this maybe like a 6.5, a 7 out of 10. I mean, it's really not as bad as you think it is. And I know I've said that a million times in this review, but it's really not as bad as you may have heard. And I think maybe it's something you just have to play. You really should just play it. Because I think you're going to be slightly surprised and happy with the playability of it. Again, for the time, I thought this was pretty good. So there you go. That is Metalhead for the Sega 32X. So look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you this is a fantastic game. It's not a fantastic game. That being said, I actually expected a lot worse. This is actually better than I thought it would be. And I do have to remind myself this was back in the 90s, and this was a polygon cartridge-based game, and no one was really doing that yet. And that really kind of softens the blow a little bit as far as the graphics are concerned. So anyway, I digress. You know, as far as a collecting item, you should get this. I mean, there's only 40 games or so in the 32X library. So this one tried to show off the system's capabilities. It does a little bit, so you should go get it. It's not that expensive, but I'll go play it. I'll continue playing it and see how it goes. So I will see you next time on another Layman Video Gamer episode, and I'm just gonna go continue playing this thing. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.